All right, just wait for a second because we need to have a very serious, slightly chaotic, but absolutely necessary conversation about the never-ending saga that is Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson. And trust me, what I am about to tell you is going to make you question everything you thought you knew about boundaries. Because just when we thought the dust had settled, just when we thought we had finally closed the chapter on the most tumultuous relationship in reality TV history, Khloe decides to drop a bombshell on her podcast that has the entire internet spiraling. And honestly, I am right there with them, because the rumors have been swirling for weeks that she has officially let Tristan back in. And if you are anything like me, hearing that phrase probably sends a shiver down your spine given the history there. But here's the kicker, the twist that keeps you hooked, because Khloe actually addressed these specific rumors head-on during the November 19th episode of her Khloe and Wonderland podcast. And her answer was not a simple yes or no, it was a masterclass in PR spin mixed with what sounds like genuine, albeit complicated, emotional maturity. So let's break this down piece by piece, because the devil is in the details. She started off by acknowledging that people constantly ask her, how do you let Tristan back in? And her immediate response was to shut it down, claiming Tristan is not back in, which sounds great on paper. It sounds like the strong, independent woman narrative we all want for her. But then she immediately followed it up with the context that makes things murky, stating that he is just the father of her kids, True and Tatum, and therefore he is going to be around. Which is fair, co-parenting is a thing, but then she dropped the detail that made my eyebrows hit the ceiling. She revealed that Tristan, who lives close by, comes over to her house constantly to tuck the kids into bed. And I need you to pause and really think about the logistics of that for a second, because this isn't just a weekend drop-off. This is a nightly ritual where the man who publicly humiliated you multiple times is walking into your sanctuary, into your home, to perform an intimate family routine. And while she insists that he leaves immediately after the kids are asleep, claiming his presence is strictly about the kids, you have to wonder about the emotional toll that takes. Or maybe, just maybe, that is the genius of it, because it creates this perfect facade of the happy family without the messy label of a relationship. But it begs the question, is this healthy co-parenting? Or is this a slippery slope? Because let's be real, the line between co-parenting and relationship gets really blurry when someone is in your house every single night when the sun goes down. Yet Khloe insists she is grateful for it, calling it a beautiful blessing that he has such a great relationship with the children. And look, I am not a therapist, but I have watched enough TV to know that this level of access usually comes with complications. However, Khloe seems dead set on proving us all wrong, explaining that she is never going to get in the way of that father-child bond, which is noble. Truly, it is the high road. But the high road is often paved with unresolved feelings, though she claims she has none, stating explicitly that she is not invested in Tristan in a romantic way, so he doesn't affect her when he comes around. And that right there is the statement we need to dissect, because she says he is just like one of my friends, describing their interactions as chill, simple, hey, what's up moments. But can you really be just friends with an ex with that much baggage? Or is that a defense mechanism to survive the reality of having to see him every day? And honestly, it is fascinating to watch her navigate this, because she admits it wasn't an overnight fix. She acknowledged that it took a lot of therapy and time to get to this cordial place after the split in late 2021. And that adds a layer of humanity to this that we often forget, because we see the headlines, we see the glitz, but we don't see the hours of counseling it takes to look someone in the eye who broke your heart and say, thank you for tucking in our son. So you have to give her credit for the work she has done, even if the dynamic seems bizarre to the rest of us. But here is where the plot thickens, because she didn't do this alone. She actually credited her sister Kylie Jenner as a massive reason why she felt safe having her son Tatum in the first place, revealing in a prior episode that when she was crying and questioning why this was happening to her a second time, referring to the scandals, Kylie was the voice of reason, telling her that God makes no mistakes, and pointing out that Kylie's son Air is only 6 months older than Tatum, meaning the cousins get to grow up together. And that perspective shift is wild when you think about it, framing a personal crisis as a divine plan for cousin bonding. But that is the Kardashian way, finding the silver lining in the absolute chaos. And it worked, because Khloe says she now feels that sense of safety and comfort. But as viewers, we are left with this lingering curiosity, this gap between what she says and what we fear. Because we have seen this movie before. We have seen the just co-parenting phase turn into the we're trying again phase. And with Tristan being in the house every night, even if it's just for bedtime, the proximity is undeniable. And proximity is often the precursor to reconciliation. So when she says he's not back in, does she mean he's not back in her heart? Or just not back in her bedroom? Because those are very different things, and the distinction matters, especially to a fan base that has spent years defending her, wanting better for her, and hoping she breaks the cycle. Yet she seems so calm, so detached, describing him as a friend she is grateful for. And maybe that is the ultimate revenge. Maybe the ultimate power move isn't cutting him off, but stripping him of his power to hurt her while still utilizing him for the childcare help, which is honestly a boss move if it's true. But it requires a level of emotional compartmentalization that most people simply do not possess. So we have to ask ourselves, is Khloe Kardashian a master of emotional intelligence, or is she in the deepest, fiercest denial of her life? Because everything she describes, the visits, the shared milestones, the chill vibes, sounds like a relationship without the title, a situationship of the highest order. And while she emphasizes that they keep this approach for birthdays and first days of school, making it seem like a structured, disciplined arrangement, the frequency of the visits suggests something much more fluid. And that fluidity is where the danger lies, or where the magic happens, depending on how you look at it. And frankly, it's exhausting just thinking about the mental gymnastics required to maintain those boundaries. But Khloe insists it's all due to the work she's done. And maybe we should believe her. Maybe we should take her at her word that Tristan Thompson is firmly in the friend zone, permanently relegated to the role of dad and nothing more. But history is a great teacher, and history tells us that with this specific couple, never say never. And that is the hook that keeps us watching. That is the breadcrumb that keeps us clicking. Because deep down, we are all waiting for the other shoe to drop, or for the wedding announcement, or for another scandal. Because stability is boring, and the Kardashians are anything but boring. So while she says he's not back in, the reality is he never really left. He just changed rooms. He moved from the partner role to the co-parent role, but he's still very much in the building, literally and figuratively. And as long as he's there, tucked into the bedtime routine, the speculation will never end. And maybe, just maybe, Khloe likes it that way. Because it keeps us talking, it keeps us guessing, and it keeps the Kardashian machine rolling. But at the core of it, you have two kids who get to see their dad every night. And if that is the result of all this chaos, then maybe the messy, complicated, confusing road was worth it. But I want to know what you think. Is this a healthy modern family dynamic? Or is this a recipe for disaster waiting to happen? Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like walking a tightrope without a net. And Khloe is doing it in heels, smiling the whole time, which is either impressive or terrifying. And I still haven't decided which one it is, but I will be watching. And I know you will be too, because we just can't look away from a train wreck, especially one that has been rebranded as a beautiful blessing. So let's see how long this just friends phase lasts before the headlines change again. Because in this world, the only constant is change, and Tristan Thompson being around.